Okay, am I live? I tried doing another interface, but it won't take the cameras. So hopefully I'm live. Hello, everyone. Hello. Is anybody out there? Just yell if you can hear me. Is there anyone home? You guys are like, please don't sing. Okay. So hopefully. All I can see is my big ugly face right now, but all right. Perfecto. So hopefully everyone can see me. I will try to answer any of your questions at the end of class. I always forget to do that, so I apologize. Sometimes my ADD just kicks into overdrive, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to see. Oh. Okay. So we always start each class with a breath of fire. It's an upregulating breath. It turns on your nervous system and gets your body ready for practice. I hope everyone can hear me okay. And it comes from your bandha. So we have two different bandha locks, and that's a whole nother story we'll go into later. So I haven't shared it yet, but I know Summer has. I'm putting together a pelvic floor workshop. And it's going to talk about like all your different bandha locks, why we hold those, what those mean, how we can connect with our body, how we can make our sex life better, how we can not pee on ourselves, just the important stuff. And so I will be doing that workshop next Saturday. So I will send everybody the information on that, and that's going to be super fun, but I'm probably going to be really inappropriate, and I'm so sorry, that's just who I am. But I will be very serious because it's a very serious thing. But I will, help you learn how to connect. And I did that with one of my students today, and he really, really, really enjoyed it. So I am still, of course, keeping my 6 feet distance. I only teach one student at a time, and we do it outside. So nobody's allowed in the studio, unfortunately. But I love my studio so much. But okay, so anyway. Go ahead and stack your vertebrae. And just closing your eyes here. So I'm just going to guide you through it, so you don't need to have your eyes open. You don't need to watch me. And then when you inhale, you should move, your ribs should move, your back should move, and your chest should not move. So take a deep inhale. And then when you exhale, just kind of sink everything down. And then inhale. And then we'll have you exhale. And we'll do 3 rounds of 20. So any of my seasoned students, you get on it. Everyone else, I'm going to show you with my mouth open, but we do it with our mouth closed. And it looks like this. Because we're just pressing the air out, and the inhalation comes automatic. Our autonomic nervous system, it's really cool. It just kind of does that stuff for us. But I will also teach in that workshop how we can control our nervous system. We've always been taught that we can't, and now we know we can. So anyway, but you're doing it out through your nose, so if you boogie, just flick it on and keep going. So you're probably in the privacy of your own home. You're probably doing naked yoga. I don't know what you're doing, but just enjoy your class. So sinking down, stacking your vertebrae, very important, and then kind of just take your chin and kind of press it back for a second. And then inhale, big belly breath. And then exhale. And then inhale deeply. And exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Sharp exhalation through the nose. Exhale, 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 exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Just taking a second here to be in gratitude. You know, a lot of us are really sad about what's going on right now, and it's tough, and we're all struggling. But can we take a minute to be grateful for the things that we have? And hopefully you have your help. And if you're doing this yoga class, you're taking care of yourself, so kudos right there. Just take a second to be in gratitude. Just imagining your breath coming out through the center of your heart, through your chest. Just picturing all the things that you're grateful for, the people in your lives. I think this time has kind of given us that time to reset and find out what's truly important in our life. Not things, definitely not stuff, but people, connections, love, and loving ourselves. So maybe a lot of us need to learn how to do that. May this yoga practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. May this yoga practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. So open your eyes and come to your downward facing dog. And so just kind of paddle out your feet, walk your dog, wag your tail. And just take a deep bend in your knees here and just really take your butt, your sits bones up towards the ceiling, and then pull your chest through your arms. Taking a gaze at your knees or even between your legs. And just really trying to focus on your sits bones here. Just trying to get some length in here, some openness. Make sure you're gripping your mat with your bridges and domes, so it's like you're grabbing an invisible ball underneath your mat, so we're not dumping down into the wrists. And then try to straighten out your legs as much as you can. If you can't, there's no problem at all. And then inhale deeply through your nose. Open up your mouth, lion's breath. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open up your mouth, lion's breath. Keeping that same breath through practice, but with your mouth closed, trying to make your exhalations longer than your inhalations. Now we're going to try to follow our breath with our movement. That is what we are supposed to be doing in a yoga class. So taking a lot of weight into your hands, just start to walk up to the top of your mat and see if you can walk in between your hands. And so if we can't palm the floor with straight legs, then they say if we're about right here, our body starts at 40, then 50, and 60. And so just take your feet back for a second and then take a lot of weight into your hands and just give me a couple of ankle taps. Ankle tap, ankle tap, ankle tap. Really engaging your bandha. So really engaging your core, using your core to lift your leg up. Give me a few of those. And then just stepping, grab opposite elbows, forward fold. Ah. Just turning your head yes and no. And then inhale all the way up to mountain pose. And so make sure you're reaching those arms up and then pulling your shoulder blades down and back. Try to keep your arms as straight as you can. A lot of people will have bent arms here. So really try to keep them straight, pulling those shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back, pull back in your shoulder blades. If you can touch the mat, awesome. If you can't, no problem at all. Just hold wherever you can, but pull those shoulder blades back. Lengthen in your spine. So inhale, and then exhale, fold. So once you get to the end of your exhale, you'll inhale all the way back up. And then as you exhale, reach over to the right side. So really pressing into your left hip, keeping your arms straight and by your ears and not cheating and grabbing thumbs. So keeping just the palms pressed together, breathe. Now, if this is hard for you to breathe in this pose, it has everything to do with your posture and your phone usage and computer and how you sit. Inhale back to center. Exhale, reaching over to the left. So pull that right shoulder blade back. Make sure your arms stay straight by your ears and your palms are just pressed together. Breathe. Inhale back to center. Exhale, so get to the end of your exhale. And then inhale, get all the way to the end of your inhale. And exhale, step back to your plank position. So get into a good plank. So your plank shouldn't look like this, and your plank shouldn't look like this. So plank. And then you're gonna kind of press forward and then press back in your heels, engaging your quads. And so if a half push-up is hard for you, so turn your arms forward and just barely bend, and then you can come forward, or you're gonna come forward into a half push-up. Inhale, upward facing, pull your chest through, inhale all the way up to the top of your inhale, and then you'll exhale, downward facing dog. So try to allow your breath to go with your movement. Take your heels together, take a lot of weight in your hands, bend your knees out wide, look between your hands, step, jump. So you shouldn't hear yourself when you jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms press together. And then exhale, fold. Bend your knees deeply, touch the floor, reach up. And then sink down and back. So look down, can you see your toes? So lean back further. And just get a little micro tuck in your back so you're not dumping into your back, you're getting more into your quads. Breathe, sink lower. Hands together because it's harder. One more time, sink lower, you got this. So listen to what comes up for you when it gets hard. That's what we quiet in yoga. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your flat back. And then exhale, go back to your half push-up, or you can just barely bend those elbows. Inhale, upward facing onto the tops of your feet. Legs are off the mat. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Angle your left foot at a 45, so I'm just turning my heel in, leaving my toes forward, right leg comes up. Now really engage your core to step between your hand, come up warrior one. So really use that leg to press, so using my right leg to press that leg back, and then I'm pressing all the way to my heels. My shoulders are forward, my hips are forward, my toes are forward, warrior one. And then as you exhale, open up into your warrior two. Take that knee and kind of take it out towards your pinky and reach. Gazes over your right fingertips. And then reach forward and reverse your warrior, keeping that bend in the front knee. And then straighten out your front leg. Coming forward, so really come forward. And then take your hand down to your ankle, or if you need a block, you can take a block in front of your foot or in behind, and then coming up into your triangle. So in our triangle, our hand is up, and then we're acting like somebody's pulling us up, taking our bottom hand and reach forward, breathe. Warrior two. And then take your elbow on the inside of your knee, pressing your knee away, reaching up and over, side angle lunge, and keep reaching that arm. That arm's not just hanging out, we're reaching. So it's like a ramp all the way from our heel all the way up to our fingertips, and we're twisting. Coming back up to your warrior two, and then circle your hands down, vinyasa through. So inhale, go half push up, inhale upward facing, exhale downward facing dog. Take your right foot and angle it out. Left leg comes up, engage your core to step between your hands, coming up warrior one. So again, make sure you press everything forward and then you sink down. Breathe, everything is forward in our warrior one. Each inhale and exhale, try to sink a little lower. Exhale to warrior two. So again, trying to turn that knee out because we're really trying to open up in the groin. Fingertips, gaze over your left fingertips. So our gaze, our drishti is so important in yoga. And then reach forward, reversing your warrior. Straighten out your front leg. Oh, just get a little bit more stretch there. And then hinging forward. So coming to the point where your hip hits your leg. So we're not taking a lot of it into our spine. And then inhale, looking up at your right fingertips. And then pulling your hips forward like you're trying to fit in between a plane of glass. And then taking your bottom hand, reach forward, breathe. Come on, hold it. You got it. You got it. Hold in those bundle locks. Coming back to your warrior two. So elbow comes on the inside of your knee, reaching up and over. Again, we're twisting our chest up towards the ceiling for side angle lunge. Coming back to your warrior two. And then circling your hands down to your half push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your heels together, bend your knees out wide, step or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees deeply, touch the floor. Yep, I know you guys love this one. I know you do. Sink lower. Come on. Come on. Squeeze it or no one else will. Make sure you're getting those glutes activated when you're doing this. Don't leave the glutes out. A lot of us forget to activate the glutes. So we don't want one muscle over powering the other. So take your left elbow on the outside of your right knee and twist. Looking over your right shoulder. And then try to pull your pelvis back towards the left. So you're twisting to your right and your pelvis is twisting back to the left. It's like a push-pull. Breathe. And then stepping that foot back to a warrior one foot. So your toes are forward and your heel is down. Breathe. See if you can open up your arms here. On the outside of your leg and twist. And then stepping back up to your mat. Woo! Coming back up into your chair. Come on. Come on with me. You guys got this. Come on. We're going to all come out of this COVID thing healthy and sit. Right arm on the outside of your left knee. Make sure your knees don't splay open too. You want to keep them together. And twist. So now I'm twisting to my left and pulling my pelvis back to the right. Sink lower. And then step that back foot back behind you to a warrior one foot. Woo! And then sink lower. Try to open up your arms. Step back to the top of your mat, forward fold. Ah, good job. I hope you did that with me and you didn't just watch me. Okay, you're not going to get sexy through osmosis. I'm sorry. No. So take your feet about hip width distance. Grab your peace fingers, love you. Grab your big toes. Inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale, just hinge forward. You're actually leaning your body weight forward. And the top half of us is relaxed. Our shoulders are pulled down and back. And our legs are working. So our yin and yang. And just make sure you keep leaning that body weight forward where it feels like you're going to fall forward. Breathe. Taking a deep bend in your knees here if you need to. And then slowly release. Take your hands up to your waist and then slowly, slowly coming up. Yeah. Step your left foot back behind you just a little bit. So now both legs, see how both legs are still forward, but my left leg is kind of angled out just a little bit. And then you're externally rotating your front leg. So see how I'm just externally rotating that, trying to fire up my deep six muscles, and internally rotating my back leg, and then I'm trying to rip my mat in half. So grab either opposite elbows, can you see? Opposite hands. And if you have a towel or something, you can use a towel if you're almost there. Or you can take reverse prayer. But any of those, you want to still make sure you pull back in those shoulder blades. Don't let your shoulders hinge forward. You still want your shoulders pulled back. So opposite hands really helps open up the shoulders the most. The reverse prayer just displays flexibility. So firing up all your muscles in your leg, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Your gaze is about 3 inches in front of your mat. So make sure one hip doesn't go one way or the other. Keeping your front leg and your back leg straight and strong, but not hyperextended. And then very, very slowly release your bind, taking your left hand on the outside of your right foot, or this is a great place for a block. You can place it on the outside and twist. So again, make sure that your hips don't go one way or the other. They should stay straight as you twist. Gaze is up towards your right hand. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Are all the swings distracting? Where do I need to move? Okay. So take your feet about mat width distance. I'm on a big, huge mat, but mat width distance, and then bending your legs, taking your hands as far underneath your feet as you can. Inhale, look up, pull up. And then as you exhale, just again, leaning your body weight forward. So finding that push-pull that we're always talking about in yoga. So we're leaning forward and we're pulling our body back as we lean forward so we don't land on our face. Woo, that one, no way, no. So breathe. Maybe you sway side to side, just whatever feels good in your body today. Our body is in a different place mentally, physically, and chemically every day. So don't ever get upset if you can't do certain poses. Some days I can balance on one hand, and some days I can't even stand on 2 feet. So slowly release your hands up to your waist, and slowly, slowly coming up. Now we're going to step that right foot back. So my left leg is externally rotating. My front leg is externally rotating. And then I'm ripping my mat apart. So take whatever bind opposite that you did last time. And then hinging at the hips, leading with your heart. Keeping both legs straight and strong. So believe it or not, this is more of a spine stretch. Of course, we're activating everything in the legs, but we're trying to stretch and make some space in our spine. Slowly release. You know, we can tap into our own feel-good chemicals as a yogi, and I just demonstrated that today, and it blew my student away. And so twisting, looking up over your right shoulder, bend left shoulder this time. So you've got to really squeeze those legs apart to not fall. You can use that hand to make sure your spine stays straight and your hips are straight. Step to the top of your mat, fold. Good job. So step big. Give me a big step. Big step. Okay. Sorry. And then, so taking your hands onto your hips. Inhale, look up, and then exhale. Again, just hinging at the hips. Make sure your toes are straight, and then leaning your body weight forward. So this is one of the poses that are really good for some of the stuff I'm going to talk about in my workshop. So, and I'm also going to do a breathing workshop. I could talk to you for 2 hours on breath. That would blow your mind. So I'm going to do a breath workshop too, because anybody who knows me, they know how much I stickler on breath. So leaning your body weight forward again. Interlace your hands behind you, reaching up and over, just like gravity kind of do it. And then slowly release, take your hands on your waist, flat back, come up. Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, leaning back down. So see if you can walk your hands back to your heels, where your palms are going back to the heels. So, wherever, so if you're here and your palms are coming up, you want to stay where your palms are down, but then you still want to try to pull your body through your arms. So we're trying to pull our body through. And then see how we always use our half push-up arms, these elbows that go backwards. They go backwards, they don't go out to the side, they go backwards. So when we're walking back, we can kind of sit back on those arms. And then maybe you could take one leg up, maybe two. Come on, try it. Nobody knows if you fall. Always try something. It's better to try and fail than fail to try. Breathe, hold, and then come back. Slowly with a flat back, coming all the way up. And then come down into your yoga squat. So in your yoga squat, this is another one that's really, really good. So using your bandha locks, and that's a whole class in itself that's going to be incorporated in my Saturday workshop. But pressing those knees out. So you see when I press those knees out, I have more room to just lengthen in my spine. So as yogis, we're trying to find space and open up space in our spine. When we breathe correctly, we're actually opening up a little space down here in our spine and then opening up a little space down in our head. I know that sounds crazy. When I read that, I was like, oh. And so taking your right hand on the outside of your right foot and twist. And then switch, coming back, pressing again your legs out. Really try to straighten the spine, pulling in those bandha locks. Left hand on the outside of your left foot and twist. And then everybody should be crow pros by now, if you did your homework. Taking your hands down to your mat, and then slowly coming up onto your tiptoes. Look like a little spider monkey. So slowly coming up onto your tiptoes, and then I'm going to lean forward. So again, my elbows are going back, they're going back, they're not going out to the side, they're going back, they're going back. So turn those elbows forward, and they're going back. And then you're slowly going to take your butt up as you squeeze your knees into the back. They should be on your triceps, not on the outside. So on the triceps, as you lean forward, maybe you'll take one leg up, maybe both. And so trying to get your heels together, breathe and hold. And if you fall, get out and get back in. So keep practicing. This is something that you've got to practice. And once you nail it, you're going to be like me and my best friend. We did crow everywhere. We were at the club doing crow. We were on paddle boards doing crow. So try to get your crow. It's just a great thing that makes you feel good about yourself. So I love that pose. And then slowly coming up. So taking your right leg up. And so if you can, and you can grab that toe and straighten your leg, but if you're leaning forward, then just go back to your knee. But if you can grab that toe and you can pull that shoulder back, then awesome. So hand on your waist, and then slowly taking your gaze out towards the left as you take your leg to the side. Woo-hoo! Breathe. And then inhaling back to center. Hands up over your head and straighten out your leg and hold. Come on, guys. Lift higher, breathe and hold. And then pull it in. So pull it in as hard as you can. And then you're going to try to spring it out. So you're going to, and so if it drops way down, that means you got to really work on your hip flexors. So pull it in, see where you are. And then from here, flexing with the foot, flexing with the heel, leading with the heel, straighten out your leg and hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Good job. So left leg, so again, you can have that knee bent. So I'll do this one with my knee bent. And so slowly taking that knee out to the side. And then gazing over your right shoulder, breathe. And then inhale back to center. Straighten out your leg and hold for 3. Come on, lift higher, 2. These are those sexy leg muscles in the bikinis. Come on, girl. And lift higher, breathe. And then taking it in, see where you are. Good. And from there, leading with the heel, straighten out your leg and hold for 3. For 2. 1 3/4. And release. Good, good, good. So depending on where you are in your tree, so if you, anywhere you can put your leg is fine because it's more of a balance, an asymmetrical stretch. But if you're here and you've nailed your tree and you're like, try to see if you can take your foot now and try to angle that knee down, and then you'll take your right hand and try to reach back and grab your toes. Wow, I could do this the other day, but apparently today is not my day. So if you can do that, try to work with that kind of a tree, but if not, just take your tree wherever you can. And so interlacing your hands in front of you, coming up, and then slowly taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. Now take it back bend and just keep going back until you fall out. Just keep going back. Your body will catch you. It knows what to do. Good, good, good. And so coming onto your left side for tree. So make sure in your tree, you're really pressing that heel in to your thigh and your thigh is pressing into your heel. So if you really want to get tree, it hurts at the beginning. So most people are like, well, it hurts. Yes. So if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So see where you are in your left side. So interlacing your hands up and over, and then grow your tree. Now close your eyes. Most people will fall almost instantly. I fall almost instantly when I close my eyes. I took away a sense. And so slowly come up to your mountain. And then as you come forward, your right leg comes up behind you into your warrior 3. Taking your left hand down to the mat, stacking your hips. So take the time to stack your hips. So help that right hip up to stack it right above, and then slowly taking your hand up, slowly taking your gaze up towards your right hand. So when our brain has to think and has to do all this stuff, we're working so many crazy muscles, trying to hold the balance. We progress so much quicker in yoga than any other workout because we're using our right brain. And then forward fold, good job. Inhale all the way up. And then hinging forward, taking that left leg up, coming to your warrior 3. Right hand goes down to the mat, so take the time to stack the hips before you take your gaze. Really flexing in that heel, and then slowly taking your gaze up towards your left hand. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. you're coming back into your chair, and then come up onto your tiptoes, and then just kind of keep sinking down, and then slowly come into your broken toe pose. So broken toe pose is where your toes are bent under. So yes, it's pretty uncomfortable. So you might have to kind of lean forward in it, but try to stay in it for just a second. And so we're going to come up, and then you're going to try to take your butt as low to the ground as you can. And you're just going to come forward. So heels, broken toe pose, butt down towards the heels as much as possible. Knees down onto the mat, butt down to the heels as close as possible. Come on, give me one more. Knees to the ground, heels coming down as low as possible, and then slowly coming all the way down to boat. And so if you need to, you can grab the back of your legs and kind of pull back and set, pulling your shoulder back, and then trying to just reach towards your toes. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can straighten out your legs and straighten out your arms. Just hold and breathe. And then slowly release for 3, for 2, and 1. So taking your legs up 90-90, and then taking them down for 30. Taking them down for 30 more. Hovering 2 inches off the mat, look at your toes, lifting your shoulders off the mat. And then 30, taking them up to 90. Lowering down for 30. Lowering down for 30 more. Hover your toes over the mat, look at your toes. And then coming back up, so leaving your shoulders off the mat. So don't let your shoulders touch the mat at all. So really pull them up and engage your core. And then just cross. So try to touch your left foot. And then with your left hand is going to touch your right foot. Right hand is going to touch your left foot. And just try to give me 20 of those. Make sure your shoulders don't touch the mat. Come on, Beth. We need good abs, not an ab for the summer. We need abs. So come on, squeeze it or no one else. And breathe. And release. Take your heels to your butt. And then interlace your hands underneath you, coming up into your bridge. So in your bridge, you want to press up as high as you can, trying to get your chest towards your chin, not your chin towards your chest. So my back is hurting a little bit, so I'm not going to do it. Listen to your body. But everybody knows what a bridge is. So just really trying to interlace your arms up underneath you and press your up as much as you can, trying to get your chest towards your chin. And just hold that, breathing, trying to get big belly breath. And then slowly release. And so this next time you're going to come up into your bridge again. See, I can't go really high. I've got anyway, got some back trouble right now. I've been a little too rough on my body. And so coming up, you're going to take your hands up and over, and then come onto the top of your head. And so everybody can do this, coming up onto the top of your head. And so as you exhale, pressing all the way up into your wheel. Isn't that crazy that wheel doesn't hurt, but bridge does? So weird. So just coming all the way up and hold. Trying to hold as long as you can and breathe. Come on, stay up here. If we focus on the pain, that's where it grows. And then slowly tuck your chin and lower down. Good job. Windshield wiper your legs side to side. And then pulling your knees towards your face, take your legs up. And so make sure that your gaze stays at your toes and you don't turn your head in this position. But this is a great pose for energy when you're getting tired and you need to think. Just pop up into a shoulder stand real quick, right in the meeting. Nobody cares. Maybe you'll encourage some people to start doing it too. I think we're always too worried about what people think, and they would actually love if somebody would start a movement in their office or somewhere. So slowly try to take your legs down. And so hopefully they can touch the floor behind you onto the top of your toenails, and just breathe. And then slowly taking your knees to your ears for ear pressure pose. And then using your hands as brake, lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. And then give me a rock and roll, rock and roll. And your third time, just floppy fold over your legs. Not trying to go anywhere, just kind of just folding it out. And then taking your hands down, crossing your legs. Actually, you know what? Take your hands down by your side and then lift up. So really pull those bandhas in when you lift. So really try to lift and then lower and then lift and lower. The third time I want you to lift. Now lift your legs up. Lift your heels up off the mat. Hold. You know, many people I have tell me, well, my arms aren't long enough. Or no. It has everything to do with core. So let's try that one more time. So lift. Now try to get those heels up off the mat. Even if they don't move, keep trying because your muscle remembers. So really, really always keep trying. Don't ever look at a pose and be like, there's no way. That is not a winner mentality. So every time you look at a pose, you're like, yes, I got that. So really try to lift, get those heels up. Come on, one more time. Come on, hold, hold, hold. And then coming down onto your knees. And then interlace your hands in front of you. And so I'm putting my hairline, not my head, my hairline where my forehead and my hair meet on the mat in front of my hands. And then I'm squeezing my head with my hands. And so yes, at the beginning it might hurt your hands, but get over it. And so make sure that your arms aren't winged out and they're directly under your shoulders. It might feel weird that they're too close together, but we don't want to risk the shoulder having it too far out. And then make sure you're pressing down into your hands and into your elbows. So kind of do a little bit of these, so pressing, squeezing, pressing everything down. I'm engaging my core. So taking your head on the inside and squeezing your head. Now start to come into down dog legs. And so if this is a lot for you, just stay here and start practicing it, or practice dolphin. So dolphin is here. So practice this. That will really help you with your headstand. So interlacing your hands, making sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders, and then coming up into down dog, trying to walk your hips up over your shoulders, and then maybe you'll just sit here and play with these, but trying to get here. So if you can get here, this is the hard part. And then taking your legs up, and then you're slowly going to take the legs back and just get everything stacked. And you could literally just kind of meditate in this pose. Once you get everything stacked, it's a super, super easy pose. So I really hope you guys are trying this with me. Come on now. Come on. Come on. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. I hope y'all are doing it. I hope so. I hope so. And then I'm going to see if anybody has any questions really quick. How we doing? I can't even tell if anybody's chatting, or I don't know how to tell. Okay, so from there, go ahead and come onto your back. Actually, we're still here. So let's go ahead and take a camel real quick. So I love me some camel. I used to hate me some camel. So just making sure your hips stay over your knees, and then you're going to start to lean back. So, and you want to make sure you take your neck with you, and just take your hands into like a butterfly, so you're supporting your low back, but you're also kind of pressing when you do that. So inhale and leaning back. And then slowly coming up. And then just sink back in your broken toes for just a second. Just be mindful of your body. This pose used to make me want to throw up. And then coming up one more time, so you can leave your toes tucked this time, and then you can take one hand and try to reach back and grab that heel and take your other hand, but then make sure your hips stay up over your knees, and then lean back and breathe. Or you can always take cactus arms, which is quite a bit deeper, but whichever, just take your camel and just kind of breathe into it as deep as you can. This pose can make you have such a euphoric feeling, it's amazing. And then slowly, slowly release, sinking back onto your heels, just letting your body kind of regulate a little. And then you take your forehead down onto your knees if you can, or as close as you can. And then grab your heels. And then, so I'm gonna try to lift up like this. So put your head down, and then you're trying to come up onto the top of your head as much as you can. So lean forward and press, breathe. And slowly release. So we always want to counter pose when we're doing yoga. So if we do a back bend, we want to do a forward bend. So we're trying to get balance. So then go ahead and come onto your back. And just allow your body just to flop down. Like there should be a body print, how much you're just letting go. So Shavasana was the hardest pose for me ever because I was like, what are we doing? Why are we laying here? I have stuff to do. And I had to learn to quiet that monkey mind, and that is what we're doing in yoga. So really take a second, give yourself this time. Your to-do list, all your crap will be there. When you get done, give yourself 5 minutes and just let go. If a thought comes to you, recognize it as important or not, and then let it go. And then slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes, twisting in your wrists and your ankles, and then reaching up over your head and just squeeze every muscle in your body. And then pull your knees into your chest. Just kind of roll around. Maybe you take a happy baby or a dead bug, never a dead baby. Don't make that mistake. Nobody likes it. And so rocking back and forth. Just really trying to pull those knees down. So this pose, if you're breathing correctly, can actually raise your heart rate variability. So I plan on doing a workshop on breath and heart rate variability. It's something I make all my athletes do. It's so important, and there's actually a watch now that will tell you if you're about to have a heart attack, like way before you're going to have one. It's amazing. We have such cool stuff now. So take both knees over to the left, or you can even cross them and take them over to the left if you need a deeper stretch. Clawing that right arm out to the side, turning your head towards your right shoulder. Breathe. And just notice if you might be clenching anywhere in your body. I'm always kind of flexing my feet and I don't even realize it. So it's really tricky. I have to keep trying to let it go. A lot of people hold in their hip flexors or their jaw. So take your tongue to the roof of your mouth. So twisting is super, super important for digestion. We can help aid in our organs. They need all the help they can get with all the toxins that we have. And so taking both legs over to the right, taking your gaze over your left shoulder. So again, checking in here where you might be clenching and holding on, and try to let it go. Now coming onto your right side in a fetal position, in a pose of gratitude. Grateful for you taking this time for you, because you either take the time now to be healthy and feel good about yourself, or you take the time later to be sick. Either way, you're going to take time. And time is the most precious thing that we have. So don't waste your time on people who don't deserve it. Get rid of your energy vampires, your life drainers. Are they putting logs on their fire, or are they pissing on it? So get rid of the pissers. And then take your right hand to your left shoulder, your left hand to your right shoulder, and give yourself a hug like you haven't seen somebody in 10 years, and you're just now picking them up at the airport, and you're giving them the biggest hug ever. You just have so much love in your heart. Hug yourself like that. Practicing self-love. Gratitude. I used to say to my students, I am in a relationship with myself, and I occasionally cheat on myself with my boyfriend. But now I don't ever cheat on myself because I've been single for a year. And I'm kind of in love with myself now. Not in that way, but just spending time with myself, getting to know who I am a little bit better. It's kind of nice for a change. I don't want to give over my power ever again. I want to make sure my next relationship is worth my time. And then slowly coming up to a seated position with your eyes closed and your towel on the back of your neck. And we always finish class with the balancing breath. So taking your middle finger on the bridge of your nose, because I know that's the finger you want to give me. And remembering our mouth is for eating, our nose is for breathing. So for that reason, we will inhale through our nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Plug your nose and hold. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time, inhale for 1, 2. Really find some space. Open up those ribs. Work that diaphragm. Plug your nose and hold. Feel your body. Slowly starting to exhale for 4, 3, 2. Come on, press all the bubbles out, get them all out. Squeeze the ribs, plug your nose and hold. Allow your body to be uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Hold. Release. Take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. And just checking in with yourself. Most of us don't even think about ourselves in an entire day, except for like, oh, what am I going to do about this? And that has nothing to do with checking in with yourself. So putting your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly helps connect the energies. But this also lets our nervous system know that we're okay. Most of us are living in a sympathetic mode. So learn to switch your body out of sympathetic into parasympathetic mode, which is our rest and digest. Give yourself a few minutes before you eat to calm yourself down, taking your hand to your heart, lowering your breath. Remembering to breathe less and bend more. We're supposed to be breathing only 4 breaths per minute. Most of us are breathing about 32 breaths per minute. We have an over-breathing problem here in the US. So take time to take care of yourself. May this yoga practice heal and strengthen your body and your mind. May this yoga practice change and strengthen your body and your mind. Thumb knuckles to forehead. Together we say, Namaste. Yay! I hope everyone enjoyed that. Like, I don't know if anybody saw this. I hope I'm actually really live for really reals. So I am going to answer any questions that anybody has. Let me see. I've got to eject something real quick because I want to show you how pretty it is outside real quick. I can't believe I missed. Well, I saw the full moon, but I didn't. Normally I go out and like just try to suck up as much energy as I can in the full moon, but I did not get to do that all the time. So